Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you everyone and welcome to a wonderful Wednesday the 2nd of July 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for waking up. Thank God, really, at the end of the day, for waking you up, because it's another opportunity He's given to you, the Father, the Creator, our Lord, our Savior, to make a difference. And so, as you travel through today, moment by moment, time by time, see every opportunity as an opportunity for you, not just to improve yourself, but to improve the lives of others with who you interact. And so, I wish you a wonderful today. Thank you for waking up to be with us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb. It is always a pleasure knowing that you're there, and most of all, for thanking you for sharing the show. You've followed my one request of you, and I appreciate you doing so. Share the show, share the love, tell others about us, bring them along as well so that they can engage with what we do. Most of all, if you have an idea or if you know of someone whose story we need to tell us about it. Send us an email at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. So that email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and we thank you as well for sharing with us what you know and what you think can add value to other people's lives as well. So good morning indeed. Good morning, Pat Ben. Thank you so much for waking up early to keep us company. Have a great today. She says good morning to the crew. Our crew says to you good morning as well, Patricia. Slender Glenda wishes all of us a wonderful Wednesday and a most beautiful today to all viewers. We back to you, Slender. Have a great one. Anthony Smith is always there. Thank you for your commitment, Anthony, from the 718 to the 246, and reverse that from the 246 to the 718. Back to you. Kieran Olivier, as always, you are there too. Thank you so much for greetings in the morning. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday today. Auntie Faye is in St. Peter to the north of the island. We say good morning to you as well, Auntie Faye. Have a great, wonderful Wednesday as well. I want to hear from my people from St. Lucie. I want to hear from, look a war right there, look. Rhonda Hines Graham, Ron, sweet Rons, good morning to you as well. Have yourself a wonderful today as well. She says, don't forget to do some form of exercise, stretching. Keep fit. And so, sweet Rons, thank you for being a wonderful example as well of that. How as we age, we can still be as active as we are expected to be. It's not the time to slow down, Pearson. So in not slowing down, find something fit to do today. Get up and move around. Get up and do the gardening. Get up and move. Get up and move indeed. So, what are you guys planning today? I'm just so curious indeed. So, if you ever call me at all, I'll ask you that question. What are your plans for today? What are your plans for the rest of the week? Particularly, what are your plans for this weekend? Because coming up this weekend will be the ceremonial delivery of the last gains. That's when crop over officially starts. Do you yet know where it is? You don't? It's at Queen's Park. That's where the official launch will be. And so they're taking over Queen's Park in all of its spaces. The ceremonial opening gala and ceremonial delivery of the last gains in association with Bimat Bisco this coming Saturday, 2 o'clock. Queen's Park, we encourage you to come down and witness the ceremonial blessing of the canes, the official declaration of the start of crop over by the Prime Minister, and the Barbados Police Service Band featuring crop over tattoos and a whole lot more. And you're encouraged to use the space, move around, because there are a lot of things happening all over the venue there at Queen's Park. Get into all the spaces, get involved in all of the activities. Bring the children along as well, and let's kick off crop over indeed in a grand way this Saturday from 2 in the afternoon in Queen's Park. All right, so today, by the way, today also is the day on which Barbados, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, determines who will be the junior Minister of Tourism. That's happening this morning. I shall be there. Can't wait to see how. And there's so many wonderful young people, 16 of them, I think it is, 16 students representing the schools of Barbados who are presenting their projects, who are presenting their ideas in a quasi-board meeting. And so I can't wait to see who ultimately becomes the Junior Tourism Minister for Barbados. Haley from Garrison led beautifully last year, and so she's going to pass that over as she leads that board meeting today. And so tomorrow, hopefully, I'll keep my fingers crossed, I'll be able to tell you who is the new Junior Minister of Tourism. All right, time for me to open the phone lines and time for you to get to call me now. 228-5562 or 228-5563, and let's get a riddle going. So today, listen carefully. I can be stolen or given away, and you live, yet you cannot live without me. What am I? I can be stolen or given away, and you shall live, but you cannot live without me. Isn't a contradiction somewhere there? So how do we work this one out? What do you think it is? What do you think it is I'm asking you about? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I can be stolen or given away, and you will live, but you cannot live without me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. By the way, today is the birthday of Gail, the captain, Gail Skinner. Good morning to you. Happy birthday to you today as you mark another milestone. All the absolute best to you, Gail. Bite me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers to call to tell me if you know the answer. Come now, come. I can be stolen or given away, and you will live, but you cannot live without me. Yes, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I shall not resile from this until I get an answer from you. I can be stolen or given away, and you will live, but you cannot live without me. I'll ignore other noises in my ears. And so coming up today, in the changing work environment, many questions arise because work's always evolving. Companies are changing, doing all sorts of restructuring and the like. And so the question of what is in it for me, that's a big question that people who are part of the process will ask. Is that question being heard? Is that question being answered? Our transformation and change management specialist, Dr. Glenda Jilts, will join us as we take a look at that. How do we cope in changing work environments? Public health nurses are approaching their big week of activities, and so we want to listen to them about what they will share about what we can do for that week as well, because they're focusing on caring for the caregiver and a whole lot more. So we'll talk to our public health nurses in a little bit about that. We want to hear, what is it that you do when you call yourself a public health nurse? Those are questions we want to ask of them today. The Mental Health Act is under the microscope once again, and so we will meet to hear a little bit more about what is entailed in the revised Mental Health Act. Why are they looking at that? And what are some of the things it will be seeking to achieve? But we have a call. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. You sound perky enough in the morning, girl.
Yes.
What time did you get up?
4.
4 o'clock. Is that normal?
Yes.
I thought you had a sleepless night.
No.
All right. So why do you wake so early in the morning?
To get ready for work.
And what time would you be leaving home for work?
About 7.
Bus or transportation? Other transportation?
Transportation.
All right, Mosey. And so you early. You done press? You have had your breakfast already? It's just a matter of getting ready now, right?
Correct.
Correct, Pearson. Let's see if you're correct. Give me an answer to the question. I can be stolen or given away, and you will live, but you cannot live without me. What do you think it is?
I believe the answer is my heart.
Why?
Because you can give away love, your heart, but you can't live without your heart.
Someone can steal your heart?
Yes.
That's the
your
heart
love.
man. Huh? Hello?
Your love.
Is that the heart man? You want to laugh, but try to hold it back. That's all right. You're trying to laugh. But what's your first name, by the way?
Chantal.
Chantal. Where are you watching from, Chantal?
I'm in St. Thomas.
Chantal of St. Thomas. Oh, you know, I hear that it rains every day in St. Thomas. Is that true?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Has it yet rained for the day?
No, not as yet.
It ain't raining today then. But Chantal, you think it is your heart.
Yes.
And you are absolutely convinced that you are right.
I think I'm right.
If I tell you that you're wrong, will your heart be broken?
No.
You'll be cool. You'll be all right.
Yes.
You good with that?
Yes.
Well, Chantal, you are right.
I
Yes, Chantal, you're absolutely right. She's absolutely right when she says it's your heart. Your heart can be stolen, your heart can be given away, and you will live. But you can't live without a heart. You better believe it. So thank you, Chantal. You're right on that one. I have another one. I don't give up that easily. I have another one. I am lighter than air. Oh, could it be a heart? Yes, Kieran. Yes, it is a heart. Absolutely right. And to Mr. Ford, you're absolutely right as well. Now, next one. I am lighter than air. I am lighter than air, but 1,000,000 men cannot lift me. What am I? I can be lighter than air. I am indeed lighter than air, but 1,000,000 men cannot lift me. What am I? 228-5562 or 228-5563. That is your challenge now. I am lighter than air, but 1,000,000 men cannot lift me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Also coming up today on this Wellness Wednesday, we want to take a look at squash as a sport, squash as development. Squash is another activity for some of us in our senior years to also engage in. So a number of things we want to look at today, particularly dealing with your health. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. I am lighter than air, but 1,000,000 men who could, I don't care how big they are. I don't care where they've come from. They cannot lift me. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Pearson.
Hi, who's calling?
Beverly.
Hi. Oh, it's you, Beverly.
Yes, please.
You ready to burst my bubble, no?
No, I believe you can. Because from the time you say one word came in my head, and I'm hoping that I'm correct.
I hope so for your sake as well. What is
But
your
I'm
answer,
going to be
Beverly?
okay if I'm not correct. I will try again.
I know you're like that, because you just have to beat me every time, right? That is your primary focus, Beverly.
Not really. It's just I feel good when I get it riddle. So
When you literally burst my bubble. What's your answer?
I think it's smoke.
Smoke.
Yeah.
I am lighter than air. But 1,000,000 men cannot lift me.
1,000,000 men can't lift you.
You ever
Because
tried
1,000,000 men can't hold smoke.
Have you ever seen somebody trying to hold smoke?
No, but that's why.
No. The thing is, they cannot lift me. Have you ever seen somebody trying to hold smoke?
No, that is why they can't lift, because it's impossible to lift.
It's impossible to hold smoke?
Men, you can't hold it, so you can't lift it.
You've never run through smoke and felt the smoke on you?
Yes, you could run through smoke, but you say can't lift me.
I heard you. Are you still with smoke?
Yes.
Beverly, how long did it take you to come up with that answer?
As soon as you said it.
Like like that?
I don't know what the first one was, and it was hard. Hard. I don't know what the preamble was.
Right.
But
you figured it was hard. And so with this one...
I didn't know the first one.
Okay,
I didn't hear it at all, because I just this minute turned on already.
See you, Beverly?
So I saw when Kieran said heart, and you said you're correct.
Right.
But I
So
didn't know
this
what
one,
the riddle was.
walk with me, the Beverly. Listen, with this one, you are sure it is smoke.
I am not sure. From the time you read the riddle, that word came in my mind. So I'm just going with what just popped in my mind.
Right. And
I may be wrong.
Nothing else popped into your mind?
Right. No, so far nothing else.
Absolutely nothing else?
No.
Beverly, that's not like you.
Later.
And so a few minutes later, I'll be able to tell you. I want to tell you this morning, Beverly. I want to tell you something this morning. You listening?
Yeah.
You listening carefully?
Very carefully.
You are wrong.
Okay.
You tried.
I will continue to listen to the program and start to think about it again.
Thank you so much, Bev. Have a
All
good day.
right, love you.
Okay,
Take
bye-bye.
care.
She tried. She came, she tried, she did not conquer.
lost.
So what is it? What Kevin with? Thank you for trying, Kevin. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I am lighter than air, but 1,000,000 men cannot lift me. What am I? 228-5562 or 63. Beverly tried her livid best. Beverly was wrong. Can you be right? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Remember, we're gathering in the parish of St. Philip this month, and so today they're continuing their greening campaign with the schools. But on Friday, they want everyone to wear purple. purple, purple, purple. They're going to paint the Parish of St. Philip purple. And there's a motorcade they have coming up on the weekend. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, who's calling?
Maria.
Maria, Maria, Maria. Have you heard that song before? That piece from the opera?
Yes. You see, Maria is such a powerful name that everybody wants to make a song about Maria.
That's what you tell yourself.
That's what I know.
That's what you told yourself. There's nobody else has ever said to me that Maria is so powerful we had to make songs about Maria. Give me one other song about Maria.
Ave Maria.
Another one.
Oh gosh. I don't remember the others, but I know there are other songs.
You're positive there are other songs, and that's because
Yes.
of the strength of Maria.
Yes, for sure.
But do you know the operetta of Maria?
No.
You don't know that? West Side Story?
Yes, I think I heard it, but yeah, that would have been a while back.
No. It is still being performed from time to time. So
Okay,
even though
I will make sure I listen.
check it out, West
Yes, please.
Side Story, and in there's a piece called Maria. It's a beautiful aria. So check it out, okay?
Yes, for sure.
All right, Madam Maria. Madam Maria, what's your answer?
My answer is a bubble.
Why is that your answer?
That is my answer because you can, it's lighter than air,
Go
but
ahead.
regardless of how strong somebody is, you can't lift a bubble. From the time you touch a bubble, it disappears.
bursts?
Yes.
And you've tried this for yourself?
Well, I think every child has
you have-
ever done that.
But no. Did you try this for
Of course.
yourself? So therefore you have scientific evidence to prove
Yes,
what you've
to
just
prove
said to
what
me.
I said, yes.
And you're sticking with that final answer, Maria?
Yes, I am.
You're not going with anything else, Maria?
No, please.
And this is the first thing that popped into your mind, Maria?
Yes, it popped into my mind, and my daughter said a bubble.
And your daughter is actually agreeing with you, Maria?
I think I'm agreeing with my daughter.
Turn her around, she's agreeing with her daughter. What parish you were in, Maria?
I'm in St. Michael.
You're in St. Michael, all right.
Yes, please.
You leaving home today?
Yes, I am.
What
to go to
time-ish?
work.
What time-ish?
Maybe about 7:45 or so.
Okay, you have to get to work for what, 9?
8:35.
And that's enough time?
Yeah.
Fair enough, Maria. It's your plan after all. It's with a beautiful name like Maria. I'm happy to tell you, Maria, and your daughter, really. What's your daughter's first name?
Thea.
Thea.
Yes, please.
So Thea told Maria that it's bubble. And so Thea is absolutely right.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you got it.
So both of you can rejoice today. I wish you a lovely day, Maria. We get to work safely,
Thank you,
okay?
and the same to you. God bless.
Likewise. Thank you very much indeed. So so 2 down, take and take. Bubble. Yes, Kieran, you're absolutely right. It is a bubble. And I kept hinting at this, I said, well, you're going to burst my bubble? And none of you, other than Maria and Thea, figured that one out. I kept dropping the answer and I did it deliberately because I knew you would have thought I would have been pulling a prank on you. But I wasn't. I really, really wasn't. I wasn't at all. You want another one? Can I give them another one? Yes. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I can come alive with wind. What am I? I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? I'm not a freak. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I speak without a mouth and I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? That's your challenge. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So what is it do you think it is? What do you think it is? I speak without a mouth and I can hear without ears. Yeah, man, I can. So I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? This is simple. This is so simple that you cannot believe that you are so right. 228-5563. One of the things I have to sit here and do every day is to try to put aside the noises around me. Noises that are good intentioned, mind you. But All of those other noises are absolutely wrong. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So what is it? What is that answer, folks? I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Good morning.
Good morning. Peace
Hi.
be unto you and yours. It's an echo.
It's the birthday girl.
Of course.
Congratulations to you, Gail.
Thank you.
What's the celebration today?
Breakfast.
That's all?
Breakfast. Go to breakfast.
Oh, you're going out to breakfast. You have
Yes.
a breakfast gathering.
Not, I won't say a gathering, but breakfast for me and my neighbor called Deborah's birthday was on Thursday, and she's been so good to me, she and her sisters.
Uh-huh.
So
they take you to breakfast.
I can't leave out Deborah, so we are going together.
Nice. What would you want for breakfast today?
I don't really know. I don't know yet, but Pearson, I'm so thankful. I'm a pensioner as from today. So I'm private free party boss.
Well, congratulations. You get your red background. All right, listen.
We don't have it anymore.
Well, that's true. That's true. The ID cards don't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
But listen.
I ain't studying about breakfast. I'm so happy I was looking to make it this far, but
Lovely.
God have brought me this far. So breakfast when I get there with you.
So if I give you cornmeal pap this morning, that's all right?
God. Yes, with
That's-
a eclair biscuit mash up in it.
You're my kind of girl. Yeah, man. That's a real meal right there. Cornmeal pap with biscuits, gone clear.
True.
So if I did not do that, and it just bakes, you're happy with just bakes?
I ain't care.
Doesn't
I am
matter.
alive.
It's the occasion in your life.
I am alive. I am alive.
All right. You're echoing that, man. You're echoing it.
Of
So what's your
course.
answer again?
Pardon me?
What was your answer?
An echo.
You're convinced?
Yes,
I'm convinced too.
but I wrong.
Gail, I'm convinced that you're right.
Oh, okay.
It's an echo.
I know.
Thank you, okay?
Have a good day up there.
You too, Gail. Enjoy your birthday. Enjoy it to the max indeed. All right, folks. We shall take a break right here. We have some interesting things to talk to you about, so stick around. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 minutes now after 6 o'clock. As you know, public health nurses are important to who we are as a nation. They are really our first point of contact when it comes to managing our health. And so this week, they're about a week coming, they're going to be marking another milestone, another opportunity for them to focus in and for us to focus with them on who they are and to celebrate their contributions. Under the theme, Healthy Nurse, Quality Care, Healthy Nation. And that, I think, is the most important part, the healthy nation as a consequence of a healthy nurse and quality care. So joining me today as we take a look at Public Health Nurse Week coming up is staff nurse Sophia Edwin, and she's brought along with her health nurse Simone Leacock. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning, Percy.
Thank you for coming early indeed and for being with us this morning, and congratulations on the week coming.
Thank
I
you.
asked you while we were waiting, what's the difference between the staff nurse and the health nurse? And you said, yeah, there is a difference. What's the difference?
Right. So a staff nurse is essentially a registered nurse, and a health sister is, well, she's also a registered nurse, but she's also had additional training in community health nursing.
So you have a little bit more training
Yes,
in
I
other
do.
areas.
Yes, I do.
And what does that additional training allow you then to do?
Okay, to be a public health nurse, you need to do the RN, as Sophie said. We also do midwifery, and then we do community health nursing. And it's the role is vast, and there's a lot of responsibility with being a health sister. You have a lot of autonomy, and you work independently and interdependently. Yeah.
So it's critical. And was I correct in saying you're, for us in Barbados, at the first point of contact? We have a problem, we run to, and the nurses are sometimes the very first people with whom we interact. Based upon your experience, Sophie, talk to me a little bit about, how critical it is for the public to understand your role and what you do, and to be able to be respectful of it.
Well, the role of a staff nurse in the polyclinic setting is quite diverse. It includes acute and chronic care, community-based care, as well as triaging. Also, we deal with health promotion, health screening, and health teaching, right? We focus also on NCDs, and supporting those clients as it relates to them keeping their appointments, following up, doctor's visits, compliance with medication and diet and exercise, that kind of stuff. And it's all in an effort really to prevent any complications and improve their quality of life.
Do you get a sense that the public who visits the polyclinics understand that those are your roles and these are your responsibilities?
Well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
So when sometimes they don't, what is it that you think that they're quite missing?
I think, on the outside looking in, if you're ill and you, for example, your waiting time, when you're ill, you think that, that's the worst thing that could possibly
everything because deal with me.
Yeah.
Even if it is something like your knee hurting, you just, once you're in pain, you feel like I am the priority. But we prioritize care. So that's how we see our, when I say triage, we see persons based on the severity of their symptoms. So if everybody comes to the clinic at the same time, we're going to see somebody with chest pain, somebody who's bleeding, before somebody who has a rash or, something less intense.
So what we would want is for us to understand that. To be able
Yeah.
to appreciate that when you ask us to just sit for just a moment, you'll see someone else who just came in after me. There's a reason for that.
Yes, definitely. Right, and we at the polyclinic, we try to tell them, just be patient. You have to do a lot of talking. You have to do a lot of repeating. So we tell them, please be patient. Today it is somebody else's emergency, but it could very well be your emergency another day. So just be patient. But I find when you talk to them, when you speak to your clients, they're
Pretty understanding.
yeah.
Yeah. Because all of us needs, and so therefore in wanting this to happen, we want people to appreciate the fact that they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're not ignoring you or the severity of what you have or the urgency that you see, but there's some others who have even more life-threatening situations that they need to urgently attend to. And so from the health nurse perspective, do you have those kinds of encounters as well with the public?
Well, we manage our clinics within the polyclinic setting. We do maternal and child health. We see our antenatals, our pregnant ladies. We see them through the entire pregnancy. We send them off to hospital. They come back to us as postnatals with their babies. We visit them in the community. We do a lot of health teaching, a lot of health promotion. We go into our schools, into our communities, and basically that's where we're at. We do a lot of referral. We advocate for our clients and to ensure that their health, is maintained and that they can function within the comforts of what they have. As our sisters, we have to be very respectful and very attentive to our clients' needs. What might be important to you might not be important to them, and we have to respect that. Their belief may not be your belief, but you have to respect that. You have to build trust. We work with our immunization program, ensuring that our clients are up to date with their vaccines. We have to respect those clients who choose not to have their vaccines, and we work with them as well. We are also, as I said, we are in the communities. We go to churches, we go to business places, we attend to persons who have like their week of activities. We become part of that. So as I said, it's a vast role, and we enjoy what we do. We do enjoy what we do. We do have the times where our clients may have to wait long, but as Sophie said, once you explain and you communicate with your clients, they normally work with you.
But there's a fine line between wanting to do all of this and a burnout. You know, and so I'm always curious as to what do you guys do to protect yourselves, because you're faced with trauma and you're either emotionally drained, mentally disturbed, or just exhausted, simply physically exhausted. So how do nurses manage in the healthcare system, because there are only so many of you, to be able to respond to the thousands and hundreds of thousands of us who are demanding of your services? What do you do to protect yourselves?
Well, as I said, we work independently and interdependently, and we bounce off of each other. We encourage each other, and like if we see our colleagues, as you said, burnt out or a little stressed, we have our seniors who pay attention to us, and they would, you know, give us the time to just come away, to relax, to breathe, and then we come back again. We have our programs in-house where we do line dancing, we have exercise program, and we also extend these things to our clients as well.
Really?
Yes, we do. We can go, we have the mental health clinics within our polyclinic settings, and we can go and we can have a conversation with our mental health team just to get it off of our chest, you know. So there are things that we do to help ourselves. Are they perfect? Nothing is, but we try. We really try.
But how do you divorce yourselves, Sophie, from getting personally connected? Because I'm sure you meet people who you think are so sweet, situations that you think are so worrying that you want to see it to its end, but you have to pull yourself away and allow them to. How do you deal with that part of you who is a human?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult because, as you said, we are humans, and yeah, we encounter clients every day who are, you know, it's Barbados, they're in the community, they're hurting, and I'm going to tell you, it's very difficult. They cry, and you know, you can't be crying and just a whole cry fest. So I don't know, something inside you just have to pull on your professional training, you know, and reassure them, right? And you know, just not get caught up in, yes, but it's very, I'm going to tell you, it's very difficult, but we also get training in that regard as well to prepare us for scenarios like that. So we just draw on the training.
We respect you ladies so much, and all of the other nurses within the healthcare system. So this week of activities coming up starting on July the 6th, which is Sunday coming. Who's going to talk me through that?
Okay, on July the 6th, we have our church service. It's going to be at St. John Parish Church. It begins at 9 o'clock. And we invite everyone to come. Usually during this time, we have our old public health sisters, those who have retired and gone on. They come back to support and encourage us. And we encourage persons like Sophie who aspire to become health sisters. They will come out and they will be a part of that church service as well. Remember, it's at St. John Polyclinic.
St. John Parish Church.
St. John Parish Church, sorry.
Starts
at 9 in the morning.
And so all nurses, and we have a favorite nurse. We've all met a nurse that we like, that we know. And so we want you to come and give support to the nurses as well. Your presence there means a lot. They show up for you. Let's show up now for them, the nurses of Barbados. So that's a church service on Sunday. Then on Tuesday and Thursday,
Monday.
Oh, you have something on Monday?
On Monday.
Right, on Monday we have
Monday,
open days
open day.
at
Okay.
We have open day at Morris Bayer Polyclinic and at Brantford Tate Polyclinic.
Those two on Monday.
Those two on Monday.
The north and the mid.
Yes, Brantford Tate and Morris Bayer. And then on Wednesday, all of the other polyclinics will have their open day.
Oh.
All right?
I was wondering, based on the information I'm looking at right here, that tells me on Tuesday and Thursday, you're having open days at all of the polyclinics, and primary care services will be displayed with members of the public.
Right, so that was an error, but we will have on Tuesday. On Tuesday, actually, we will have our community outreach in Freedom Park. It's in the city. So it's like...
So Monday's open day at two polyclinics.
Morris Bayer and Brantford
Tate
Tate.
polyclinics. Yes, and then on Tuesday, we're having this open...
Community outreach in the city, Freedom Park. It's opposite the Granville Williams bus terminal, formerly the Fairchild Street bus terminal. And we're asking the public to come out. Come out and you can get your health checks. We do your blood pressure, your blood sugar. You will, it's like you don't come to the polyclinic, but the polyclinic is coming out to you, meeting you where you are in the community.
Freedom Park.
Yeah, it's a very relaxed environment. You can get the service. Some of the services that we offer, you can get your PSA, your colorectal screening, blood tests, family planning. All of that we will, offer.
What I like is that you also offer while they're counseling if necessary.
Yes.
I've had the experience before. When numbers were elevated, they pulled me aside and they sat. And that's what you guys do. You interact with the public in that kind of way because you care.
Yes.
And I really want people to understand that about the nurses of Barbados. They care. They truly care. They don't feel as if they're seeing you as a statistic. They don't. They see you as a human who needs a human response. And so that's what they do. They offer that humane response to you indeed. So that's Tuesday in Golden Square. What's next?
On Wednesday, we are going to have open days now at the other polyclinics.
Okay.
All right, so persons feel free to come and just encounter us as we encounter you, and you have the opportunity to embrace and have services offered at our polyclinics as well.
Open days at all polyclinics on Thursday.
On the other 7 polyclinics.
Right, the other
And Wednesday.
On Monday.
That's Wednesday.
Monday and Wednesday.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, we have our Nurses Appreciation Day, where our seniors, they honor the nurses at the varying polyclinics, along with, members of the Public Health Nursing Committee. And it's really, just an opportunity to say to our nurses, we see you. We see you going beyond the call of duty, giving more than 100% to care for our clients. And we love and appreciate you. So that will be on the Friday. And then on the Saturday, it comes to an end on the Saturday. And it's going to be in the form of a breakfast party. Breakfast parties are trending now. It's not a garden party, but a beach party.
Oh, nice.
And it's called Sunrise at the Beach. And we're asking the nurses to, put away your uniforms and put on your swimsuits and get a swim. It starts at 6 a.m. on the 12th, Saturday the 12th, at the Bay Street Esplanade. And breakfast will be served. And we're just asking you to come out with your colleagues and have a relaxing, good time.
We'll exercise, we'll swim, we'll chat, we'll just have fun.
Spend time.
Yes,
Spend time.
And relax. Or downtime, or
That's so important to bring the pressure down.
Other. Yes.
Bring the pressure down.
Yes.
And so, healthy nurse, quality care, healthy nation. They provide healthy care, quality care. They're healthy nurses, and so the health of our nation is paramount, and that's what they do. So we will support you in your week of activities. We'll start with the church service this coming Sunday at St. John Parish Church from 9 in the morning, and then you follow the calendar of activities. And I encourage you, Barbadians, if you're passing a polyclinic, if you're passing another medical facility, and you want to say, hi, nurse, whomever, thank you. Do so. Do so. A big thank you to all nurses next week indeed. And so I want to encourage everyone everywhere to just take the time to just visit and say thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your helping us to be a healthy nation indeed. And I thank both of you ladies.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
Very welcome.
Thank you so much
We enjoy doing what we do.
I can hear it, I can feel it, I can see it. You still look very healthy, quite young. So clearly it's working for you what you do. So well done. Thank you so much. You're welcome. We're taking a break here, folks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur,
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
18 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. I just love this lady, Dr. Glenda Jills. She is so fun. We're talking HR with her now, by the way, indeed. And Glenda is a transformation and change management specialist, indeed. And it's always wonderful sitting with her to learn really from her experience, and vast experience it is indeed. Today we're looking at coping with change in the workplace. And welcome again, Dr. Jills.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Morning, Barbados.
Indeed. And so there's so many workplaces today that are changing, whether it is because of restructuring or just circumstances that force them to take drastic changes, either to decrease number of staff, to change processes, a whole host of things. And so people are at the center of all of that. And I think sometimes in that change, the people are not seen because you're so focused on setting your business.
Right.
And so because people are center of it, they feel lost, hurt, displaced, not thought of, not cared about. And so let's help them cope in these changing environments. How do we do so?
Okay. Well, change is constant. I would say that. We all know that change is constant. And whilst we're busy doing our job, someone is thinking, maybe we can improve this business. Maybe we have too many of these people here, but maybe we should shift. So the business itself is always thinking how they can improve. And sometimes that comes to detriment, I would say, of some employees. But this morning I want to talk about from the perspective of the employee themselves. How do they cope? Because organizations will cope. They will do what they have to do to determine their numbers. But I want to give some tips to those persons who hear the word change. Something is happening in the organization. And you often hear it as a rumor first. Sometimes you hear something is happening. Or you hear there was a meeting. And then you see all these people coming in. And so you get little trickles of information coming in. And how do you cope with that? For some people, the very thought of change drives fear. Because they start to think about what ifs. What if when this change happens, I don't fit? What if I can't be merged into what they want to do? So I think employees have to also prepare themselves. So I have a little bit of a strategy that I use in going through change. And really, I call it SWOT your life.
SWOT your life.
SWOT your life.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
SWOT your life.
Really?
Yes. It's a business acronym.
Yes.
And businesses use it when they're looking at, again, how do I improve my bottom line? How do I improve, but people should also use that acronym for themselves. So if you hear of a change and you think, what's in it for me?
Yeah, that radio station.
WIIFM, what's in it for me? You also have to prepare yourself.
Yes.
So do some introspection. Don't let the fear grip you, but do some introspection and reflection on how can I fit into this new model? Or can I fit into this new model? Or is it that I should just look at other opportunities?
Right.
So the strengths is looking at what I have, what do I possess now? What is my strength that I can take forward into the new entity or the new change, right? And then, of course, the weaknesses, meaning what do I need to do to improve so that I can be absorbed or I can fit in, okay? The opportunities, what else is out there? How can this help me, this new change help me in terms of developing my skills, my craft, what I do? And of course, there's always that dark cloud, the threats. The threats in itself also have opportunities. The threats are what will derail me, right, from being able to fit in to this new system or this new process.
When I do that and I document everything, all my strengths, my weaknesses, those opportunities and those threats, I see a clear picture. I see a clear picture of whether I fit or I do not fit. Whether or not I have what it takes to get in, to stay with the company that's changing, or whether I need to find employment elsewhere or find an opportunity elsewhere. Whether or not I need to take on a little bit of training, or go do some studying to further enhance. So there's a clear picture.
That's your opportunities right there.
Right there. But the change starts, as you said, with a whisper, and so the uncertainty. And all the while, that measure of discomfort. How do I settle my spirit in that discomfort?
I think you first have to get the right information.
Okay.
Because the whispers can sometimes be a little bit misleading. Because somebody heard something that somebody said, and you know how that gets watered down along the way. But I think it's important to ask the right questions, attend the meetings. If you hear that something is happening and there's a meeting, attend the meeting. Have your questions written down. What does this mean for my department? What does this mean for me? Ask the questions. Go to the people who can answer those questions. Because often we take information from persons who don't know the answers either. They're just struggling just like you. So ask the questions, find out what it means for you as an individual.
You're asking me, though, now to trust as well. Because here it is, all the while I was working with you, and all was well, and suddenly I'm hearing rumors, gossip. I have to go seeking answers. Can I trust your responses, or are you simply shutting me up because I'm disturbing you based upon what you're seeking to do to me?
But we're hoping that organizations are being open. I think that's the only way for them to truly have a successful transition.
Good.
Right? If you keep information from your employees, all it does is sow seeds of discord, rumor mongering, fear, and it also impacts your productivity, because if I'm worrying, I'm not coming to work, I going sick, I just can't function, because all the while, in the back of my head, I'm wondering, what's in it for me?
And I'm glad you mentioned it like that the organization should be truthful and upfront. Because it's a relationship between both. And so while you know what your structural plans are, the changes that you're seeking to have, at the same time, if you're not being honest and true to your employees, you're going to have a very rocky transition that's happening right there. And then the organization is going to ask, but how much do I share? How much can I share? So that we are, because there's a change happening all the while, and we have to work together. So how much can I share?
So the organization would have had some kind of strategy in place. So part of the strategy includes a communication strategy. So communication for your internal people, and communication for external. And often we get it messed up.
Yes.
Sometimes you hear things on the news and that's my organization, but I didn't know that was happening. And so that's something that we really need to work on. And I know that a number of companies have now employed communication strategists who will help them craft what they're supposed to say internally to your stakeholders inside and to your external stakeholders.
And I hope they're crafting, remembering what's in it for me.
What's in it for me?
That employee is always asking that question.
Yes.
Are you upsetting me? Are you going to be unseating me? Do I have to look somewhere else? Will I find comfort? Will my friends be still here?
Yes.
The people who I've formed relationships with.
Right.
And then would I be taking on more?
Yes.
And what am I going to be paid? Because,
Right.
you know,
Well,
the hierarchy of needs.
That's the important question.
Dr. Glenda, we'll take a break here. We'll continue this conversation looking at coping with change in the workplace in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
8 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. We're talking HR with Hermab, and we're looking today at coping with change in the workplace because workplaces are changing. And with us is Dr. Glenda Gilles, who is a transformation change management specialist indeed. And so when we took the break, we were talking about how much can change, how open, and the value of the communications specialist in that process as well. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yes. So communication is very, very important because as I said earlier, if you don't know, then you make up stuff in your head and you listen to all the persons who purport to know or believe they know.
Because it sounds good to it fits your narrative.
And if it's into your narrative. I think it is incumbent on organizations to have a well-crafted communication plan, a strategy that not only taps into your people, right, but also your external people and your timing for releasing that information. Now, compensation is one of those things that persons always want to know. What is it that I'm going to get? You know, but there are many steps to that process, and you must appreciate and respect the fact that not all information can be released at the same time. But I think it is incumbent on the organizations to give persons the information that they need in a timely manner, so that they go away understanding this change is coming. And these are the steps along that route. And do I fit in? Because if I don't fit into the strategy, because unfortunately sometimes an organization may say I have to reduce headcount.
Yes.
Very, very uncomfortable place to be in, but it's a reality. And if I am not part of that number, then what do I do? Do I look outside? When do I start to do that?
Yes.
And so it's important that employees also tap into hear what is being said, ask questions from the persons who have the answers, and make your plans from there. Using your strength, weakness, and opportunity and threat analysis as well. So if I have to look for a new position, what do I do? Where are my strengths? What do I have to shore up? What do I have to take advantage of? And what do I need to do to move into a new position, a new role? You want to come away with the change with everyone having a win-win experience.
As much as possible.
As much as possible. But change is difficult. We know that. Change is difficult, and some persons really feel hard-pressed because I've given this company 20 years. How dare they, reduce me to a number? But sometimes organizations have to do it to survive. And once we understand that, then we also need to be change ready. You know, you're hurricane ready.
Yes.
You must be change ready, particularly when you are at a certain age and you know that if something were to happen to this organization, where will I find myself? And so I tell people always keep your resume sharp, current, relevant, because you never know. You know, change is so normal these days, particularly since COVID. We, you know, before we went to work 8 to 4:30 and so on. Now we have things such as working from home. Before that was unheard of. And so companies are finding other ways to be a little bit more efficient. And so the employee also must find ways to remain relevant, if not in this organization, in another organization.
I was breaking it down.
Yes.
The leading up to the whispers, the meetings and so forth, the change has started. And sometimes that communication stops. And the question, the radio station strikes up again, what's in it for me? Is this still the place I want to be? And why are they still not listening? Because now we're foisted with changes in processes and relationships and the like, and we aren't quite settling. How do we manage that part of the change now? Because now we're up and running again, having taken that drastic change, and yet we want to be to remain relevant and care for our staff.
So you must inject some kind of employee assistance in this process, because everybody is going through it. So even if I am not displaced, my buddy who I worked with for the last 10 years is gone. How do I manage that? How do I deal with that? It's like a grieving process, because even though I may still have a job, I'm thinking about my friend Mary, who now has been displaced, not working, has children and so on. So staff do go through a grieving process as well. And again, I go back to the employer ensuring that there is support. So I had an experience whereby my company at the time was closing its operations in Barbados and moving to, I think it was India. And so our plan, what did we do with all these 200 plus employees? And we went into a mode where we provided support. We created a hotline. We made sure that persons, even though they may not have been entitled to severance because of the years they have put in, we requested and got money to support them. We brought in persons who will help them. You know, persons get a large sum of money because they're being made redundant. And the first instinct is, I'm going to go and buy
something large.
Something large.
I can afford it now.
Right? But we brought in persons to help them with managing their finances, investing, entrepreneurship, you know, so those kind of things. And of course, the psychological aspect of coping with that change. And so we brought in psychologists as well. And so persons had that opportunity to speak with persons on a one-on-one, because everybody had their own different experience and feeling about this change. So where an employer can do that, I encourage them to do that, to have a program that not only says, here's your final check, well, goodbye and never see you again, but that relationship continues on until there's a seamless transition out, and you know that your employees are in a good space, in a good way, as they leave the organization.
Those who remain will sometimes be distrustful of those who also remain, because we felt that you stitched on somebody Mary got set because of what you did. So all of that is part of the fabric that still needs to be stitched together nicely. So that because change is constant, you can't stop because you've met a particular deadline. You have to continue the conversation, continue the discussion, continue the sharing, continue the communication. That's all part of the coping with the changing workplace. And there will probably come the time when you're functioning well, but even then, you still have to maintain that connection. Because WIIFM does not close.
It does not close. 24-hour radio station.
Got that right.
Right? No commercials. Life is always lifing. Things are always happening. And so you have to also prepare yourself. It's not the employer's responsibility only.
Yes.
You also have a responsibility to keep up to date with what is happening. There's so many free programs, training programs, online, Coursera and NTI, and keep yourself current, keep yourself active. Don't think, well, they haven't sent me to training, so I'm not going.
I'm not making the effort.
Because they can't take it out of your head. If you learn a new skill, it belongs to you, and you take it wherever you go. So you also have a responsibility as an employee to upskill, keep yourself current, keep yourself relevant, keep yourself in the know.
Well said, Dr. Glenda Jones. See why I love this woman? It is so good sitting with you again, talking HR with her, Mab, indeed with you, and looking at coping with change in this changing workplace environment.
Yes.
And so we've learned a lot. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
You're welcome indeed. And so remember, membership brings benefit, folks. If you are not yet a member of HERMAB, join today. Go to hrmab.org.bb, sign up, because you'll have benefits of people like Dr. Glenda Jones and other practitioners who you can lean on, and they'll share from their experience. We're taking a break here. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at news now. Barbados has presented a 5-point plan for agricultural development for small developing islands to the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization. It was delivered by Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indar Ware at the 44th General Meeting of the FAO ongoing in Rome. He said the Caribbean and other small developing states, through their geographical locations, face diverse vulnerabilities which can undermine food security.
The first one will be climate-smart, localized technologies. Then they must be affordable and adapted to smallholding environments, including drought-resilient crops, low-input systems, and renewable energy solutions.
Minister Ware also called for the inclusion of capacity building, farmers' empowerment, and initiatives that will include females and the youth.
Improve access to markets and finance by facilitating inclusive value chain, strengthening rural infrastructure, and introducing innovative microfinance tools. Fourth, policy advocacy and institutional strengthening to support national frameworks that prioritize land tenure, climate resilience, and inclusive development. And five, data and digital innovation, including the use of AI, biotechnology, geospatial tools, and early warning systems to help small farmers make informed real-time decisions.
The Barbados Immigration Service has launched 2 digital service upgrades. They include an online entry visa application portal as part of the department's ongoing effort to become fully digital and paperless. Minister of Information and Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams says these developments are aimed at improving customer service, reducing in-office wait times, and increasing overall efficiency.
Let's start with the online entry visa application portal. So the next significant step forward is the availability of an online entry visa application portal for travelers requiring a visa to enter Barbados. This user-friendly platform will be accessible through the department's official website, that's immigration.gov.bb. and will streamline the application process, making it faster and more convenient for global travelers.
And online payments are now available for all services provided by the department.
Since March 14, 2025, the public has been able to pay online for all immigration services, even those that have not yet transitioned to a digital platform. This change reduces waiting time and the need for in-person visits just to complete payments. It is convenient since a digital platform can be accessed 24/7. As an added convenience, applicants have the option to pay an additional Barbados $16 to have their completed official documents, example passport, citizenship document, permanent residence document, etc., delivered to them via the Barbados Postal Service courier service, further minimizing the need to return to the immigration department. This initiative aims to offer a rich experience in doing business with ease to persons, businesses, families, individuals, and staff.
Well, the public is encouraged to visit the department's website for more information and also to take advantage of the newly available modern services. Drink, a look inside the glass. That's the name given to the groundbreaking feature about Mount Gay rum. It is streaming on a number of international platforms, including Apple TV and Prime Video. Mount Gay Distillery's Managing Director, Antoine Couvrier, says they are thrilled that Mount Gay has been chosen to represent rum on a global stage. He said not only does it celebrate the birthplace of rum, it also shines a light on the passion and craftsmanship that goes into every drop of Mount Gay rum. The program involves more than 100 contributors, featuring 46 interviews across 6 countries. To sports now. Christchurch Foundation has been crowned champions of the 2025 BCA Sir Everton Weeks Under-13 Cricket Championship. Playing in the final at the Empire Ground at Bank Hall yesterday, Foundation defeated Milo Lodge by 11 runs. Sent into bat, Foundation posted 174 for 8 in a match reduced to 31 overs a side, and Anmar Goodrich Boyce now takes a look at that innings.
Christchurch Foundation sent into bat first. Opener Pietro Braffett is off the mark, boundary of Zadari Scantlebury. The first one was played on the offside, and this one was in the region of backward square. Another boundary for Braffett. But Lodge got the breakthrough. Kennyco Darlington strikes. Braffett is gone. LBW 16 for 1. The other opener, Kyson Hinkson Critchlow, didn't last long either. This was sensational fielding. Caught and bowl. Foundation 22 for 2. That brought Captain Kimani Clark to the crease. Can he steady the ship? No, he cannot. Kimani Innes with the catch. Scantlebury the bowler 23 for 3. In came Vice Captain Shaquan Mason. He gets the ball rolling with this. A late cut gets to the fence. Mason was just getting settled in the middle, dragging this one from the off stump, and that will be 4 more. Giovanni Greenwich looked good for 13, but he had to go. Jazavi Hines, LBW 74 for 4. The next batsman was Reese Knight, and immediately he tugs this one to the boundary, 4 runs. Mason goes for another big shot, but there's a man in the deep. Zadari Canterbury settles under it and takes the catch. A brilliant innings comes to an end. Mason goes for a well-played 40. It's 86 for 5. Knight, however, continued what was a rescue mission at this stage. That will get to the ropes despite the chase. 4 more. Knight was living his own daydream with the Lodge bowling. That's a maximum. It disappeared into the surrounding Bank Hall area. Here is another one. High, hard, and handsome. 6 more runs for Knight. Well, if you thought that was big, this one was bigger. This is a daytime night show at Empire. He finishes on 46 not out, 4 runs short of what would have been a magnificent half-century as Foundation ended on 174 for 8. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, in reply, the Lodge score was restricted to 163 for 9 from their 31 to lose by 11 runs as Foundation's captain Kimani Clark took 3 for 23 and Shaquan Mason took 3 for 32. That's our look at news. Until now, we'll have more news right here on TV8 coming up at 12 noon. Morning Barbados takes a break. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 after 7 o'clock. Now let's turn our attention to squash. And I know, you see them in that little space. They do what they do. And for some of you, you're confused as to what they do. How do you know you've scored a point? Because somebody just crashed the ball, somebody's trying to get at it. How do you know you've scored a point? We'll probably get some idea as to how that game is played. Truly, what are the rules? Because I'm joined by one of Barbados' best, really one of the best in the world. Karen Meekins is here, ladies and gentlemen. She's a master squash player. She represents this island. We see her on the news all the time. And one of the things I said to her when I was meeting with her, I said, "You're taller than I thought." Karen, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for representing Barbados as well as you do. We are immensely proud of your contribution.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome indeed. Next to her is the president of the Barbados Squash Association, Preston Paris, Pressy for short. And across from me is Michael Best, who is a board member of the Barbados Squash Association. So welcome all of you. It's a game that confuses a lot of us. You're probably best placed, Karen. Talk to us about the game and so that we understand it when we see it.
It's a very simple game, really. You're in a box, basically, 4 walls. You have to hit the front wall between the lowest line and the highest line. And then you can use all the walls, but one person hits at a time. It's very exciting. It's very tiring. It's a great form of exercise. It's not, you don't have to worry about it raining outside, anything like that. You can play it any time of the day, and it's a lot of fun.
So the strategy is to get your opponent to miss the next volley?
Yeah, or just really to get them to move them around the court, so you put them out of position. You're hoping to hit somewhere where it's too far for them to run to get it, or just hit such a good shot that they can't get it back.
Okay, and that's how the points are racked up?
Yes.
And how many points before you have a winner?
We play to 11 points.
11 points.
And if you get to 10 all, you have to win by 2 clear points.
What does it mean to you to represent Barbados?
I mean, it means everything. It's something that, I moved to Barbados in 2000. It's been my home for the past 25 years, and it's just such an amazing honor. It's I can't even describe what it means to me. It makes me very proud. Like I love when I go away to, when I first went to World Masters in 2010, everyone's like, Barbados, it's like, I didn't know they played squash in Barbados. So it's a way for me to, to spread the about the island and let people know about Barbados. We have a great Masters tournament here every year. So a lot of people are coming to Barbados and experiencing everything that we have. So yeah, it means everything to me.
That's so good to hear, Pressy. And so, here it is. You now lead an organization, the Barbados Squash Association, that is strong. We see the results. You make the news. So that's a good thing in itself, because now you're exposing so many other people to the sport. Are you seeing the uptake by younger people to play the game?
Yes, there is an uptake, but more can be done. And one of the things that is important for that to be done is for the sport to have its own home. Right. Currently, we depend on private clubs for their facilities, but the push is for the Barbados Squash Association to have its own home. We are partnering with the National Sports Council, so within the next year or so, squash will have its own home, and we'll be able to get it in the communities and do more programs, bringing more people into the game.
So you've seen the growth in people wanting to play the game, the passion for the game, but you just need your own space to do more, to develop the skill.
Yes.
And apart from a home alone, what else are you doing so that the skill is further developed?
Right. Well, we have two programs which once we get that home, which will take part. There's the Squash for All program, where we'll be going into communities, schools, looking for talent. We also have a mini court which we'll use for that purpose. So we'll identify the talent, and then we'll bring them into the game and train them to be the next national champions and regional champions like Kieran and his daughter Megan Bess.
That's okay, gotcha. I'll work on that for just a minute. And so, Michael, part of your responsibility. Hold on. Do I know you? Yes. Your face is. I know you now. No, it just dawned on me. It all came right back to me now, Michael. And so, from where you sit, you have to help the board achieve all it has to achieve. And so, you set yourself some lofty targets to have your own home and to develop the sport even further. So, talk to me a little bit about from where you sit. What's your vision really for the sport in Barbados?
First of all, Pearson, well, thanks obviously for having us.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, same here. This is like a pyramid. And so, the more numbers you can have at the bottom, the more likely you'll have someone who will get to the top. Like Karen, who's the world champion as it is. And so the key thing is to get it across the grassroots. Squash has always been seen as one for elitists and only for certain people. But through the efforts of the association over the years, we've been able to expand it. We have a junior program that takes place on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, really starts from 1 until like 4 p.m. And so those numbers have been growing. People are coming out and they're hearing about the sports, obviously because of the results like Karen and Megan and Kamal and those people. And so we currently have a group of athletes now in Cayman who are doing very well so far. And so the key thing is to get it out in the grassroots. And I honestly believe that there's more talent to be, unearthed in Barbados and developed. And so obviously with a new facility, we'll be able to expand not only, to juniors, but like to seniors and stuff. There are many people, older people who are retired, who have lots of time on their hand. As Karen mentioned, squash can be played any time of the day. But obviously right now, because we're limited to a members club, where the club has to be shared with members, we're limited in the resource that we have, where we can roll out these programs and get all the things going. There's also a new like power squash, where even people who are in wheelchairs can actually play the game. I'm really excited to have that aspect in Barbados and stuff, but that's a neglected part of the community. And so we're working, we have a lot of plans in place. It's just to have the facility, as Preston mentioned, to really roll out these programs. And, I believe that we are on the cusp of squash we're into the Olympics now.
Yes.
And I honestly believe that's perhaps where the one next Olympic medals can come from.
Yeah, Megan and Kamal when they met with us, we were all passionate about them getting to the Olympics, indeed, getting to those Olympics. But there's a Masters tournament that Karen said is coming up. Is that true? So, when is it?
We had our Masters Summit, BCQS. We normally get people from all around the world coming for that. I think this year we attracted over 100 participants.
To Barbados? Wow. So how did we do?
Well, it's an individual tournament. I think Karen.
So how did we do?
I won the ladies.
It's like, duh.
Mark Celia would have won the men's, I think, his age group. Yeah.
Yes.
So, we did well.
We did well. And that's the whole point. To do well in the sport, we need to start to really create the opportunity for people to, one, play the sport, and to have the facility as well to be able to play the sport to do better. Indeed. And so here we are. What do you think of Barbados' chances, Karen, at the Olympics in squash?
I think there's potential. The qualification is going to be very difficult because unfortunately they've limited the one in 2028 to 16 players, and they've not yet released how they're going to give the spots out, how qualification is going to be. So I think our biggest challenge is going to be actually getting into the Olympics to begin with. But I mean, with the potential we have now, and obviously when we get our own facility and we get more and more people playing, we could definitely get a medal at those Olympics at some point.
I like that. I like your lofty goals, indeed. And so, Preston, what's next for the Squash Association that you think the Barbadians need to know about?
We have 2 tournaments coming up. We're going to the Pan Am Under 23 and the Senior Pan Am in both tournaments are in August. And historically, we've always medaled at those tournaments. So that'll be our minimum goal, is to medal.
And how can we help, Michael, the association to achieve the place, your own home, and whatever else that you need? How can Barbados joins in this?
Well, first of all, let me say that through the Minister of Sport and National Sports Council, they're providing the actual building for us. We are going to be required to actually get the actual courts. And so right now we're into a fundraising phase. And so Corporate Barbados and the general public, if they can come on board to help us with those aspects. And I think Preston will be rolling out some things very soon. And you'll be hearing from our fundraising committees and stuff in terms of getting that. That's the really key thing, to get those things going. In terms of like the future and stuff, obviously squash, most often when we have tournaments at the Barbados Squash Club, they're free. And so turn up
come
and
out and support.
Come out and support.
Indeed. Yeah. Where is this building?
It's in behind Marine Garden, just behind where Palm Marine is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So it's in that location.
That's correct,
I thought it was going to be the Garfield Silver Sports Complex.
No, okay, sorry.
That's where the
Squash Club is.
That's what I meant.
Beg your pardon, sir. Beg your pardon.
Within the sports complex, that's where it will be.
Yes.
So we will watch it erect, and we can't wait to come and join with you, indeed, and watch the game of squash. It's a fascinating game to watch. I'm glad you explained to me the line, because I kept wondering, why is there a line that's so low?
That's for, there's a middle line for serving over, and then it's basically you've got to hit between the bottom line and the top line. It's fun. You have to come and try.
I have to come and try it. I truly have to come. Because even at my old age, there's a sport for me, squash. Yes, and so anyone of any age can play squash.
Yes, absolutely.
And you will see the tremendous health benefits that flow therefrom. Thank you so much, Karen Meakin, and all the best for your future endeavors as well.
Thank you
indeed. Preston Paris, let me call him by his proper name, the president of the Barbados Squash Association, and of course Michael Best, who is a board member of the Squash Association as well. Thanks to each of you, and may all of your future plans come to fruition.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us. Thanks.
You're welcome. We're taking a break here, folks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
26 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to looking at the updating of the Barbados Mental Health Act. And there's a commission that is seeing after that. And the chair of that commission is with me now, Dr. Maisha Emmanuel, who chairs the National Mental Health Commission. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's talk a little bit about the commission and the purpose for the commission. Let's set that space.
So the commission is made up of a number of diverse members. There are people with lived experience in terms of mental health, social worker, teacher, health advocates, of course, psychologists and psychiatrists like myself, nurses. So quite a diverse group of people. And basically, our role is to be advisory to the minister about mental health reform. And so this current group, we first came together at the end of 2022. The previous group was waylaid by COVID, of course. Yes. COVID waylaid many things. But we have been working together as a unit from 2022, and we've been doing many things, the main one being the review, or I should say the rewrite of the Mental Health Act for Barbados. So that's where we are at the moment.
So you're taking the old and you're looking to modernize it to today's times.
Absolutely.
Because there were terms and certain things that were said then that need to be updated?
Yes.
So what was said in the old from what you discovered?
So the current act is about 40 years old, all right? And so a lot of the medical, legal, and ethical practices that would have been done then, we don't do those things now. So I think as clinicians, you know, the nurses and psychologists and psychiatrists who are on the ground practicing, we've kept up with the medical side of things. But the law has not kept up with that. And so there are many things that many standards that we have now based on WHO and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities that has not been reflected in the Act. So for example, if I can, some very common things. Now that we are rewriting the Act, we had a lot of emphasis placed on human rights. So basic things like consent to treatment, informed consent, being able to say, yes, no, I don't want that thing, or I don't want to be treated in this way. I want this person to be involved in my care, or I don't want this particular person to be involved in my care. Basically giving autonomy back to the person who's being treated. And none of that is written in the Act, although, as I said, we've kept up with those types of practices. We want to see that reflected. We want people to know what their rights are up front. And so we want to practice in that way. I mean, other things involve, emphasis on being treated in your community as close to home as possible. We want people to move away from the idea that, you have to come to the hospital, whether it's the psychiatric hospital or the QEH. We want you to be able to be in your place where you live and work or go to school and get your treatment there. Okay, so there's a move away from inpatient care into more community-based type care. And then for the small minority of people who need to come into hospital, even if it's an involuntary admission, and I'm stressing again, the minority of people who that would be relevant for, we want there to be oversight. Right now in the current act, the person has to apply to the tribunal if they want, if they disagree with treatment. But we're saying that's not good enough. We want there to be an expectation that the tribunal will come and say, Dr. So-and-so, why are you treating this person in hospital? Why are you using this type of management? Why are they not at home? Why are they not being managed in the polyclinic? So the onus then becomes on the managing team to justify, as opposed to having the person complain or say, I want the tribunal to intervene in this way. So there's very much a change in the way in which we think about mental health care and management.
Being able to identify that there is a challenge with mental health, first of all, and to be able to parcel it out in the way that we clearly define what it is that a part of the focus of the Commission as well?
Right. So our part of our remit, we want to educate the public about what to look for. So many times people say to me, well, this has been going on for so long, I didn't know that that's what this meant, So part of what we'll be doing as we roll out the Act is also public education around myths and facts about mental illness and mental health, as well as what do you look for? What are the things that will say to you for yourself, as well as the people around you, because really those are the people who will be closest to you, be able to identify if something has changed, right? And so take the focus away again from the doctor, the nurse, or the whomever, put it on yourself. What is happening with me? How can I know when I'm not doing my best?
The role of the state, for just a second, in terms of the police service or the institutionalization of people who are challenged by mental health issues. Is that also a part of your discussion? How do our people who provide health and safety basically define and determine who goes where and how it's dealt with?
Right, so that's why we are pushing to strengthen our community services. Because if you have a strong community presence, if your care is delivered through the polyclinic system, away from hospital, because that's what we've been doing for so many years, and that's what we want to move away from that. So if you have a strong community system, then it reduces the need for the involvement of the police, etc., etc. Right now, persons come in contact with the police if their behavior is threatening or aggressive or concerning in some way. And again, that is not the majority of persons. And that's the other thing we want to talk about as much as possible. The overwhelming majority of people who come into contact with mental health services have depression, anxiety, difficulty adjusting because of some acute stressor. It's not the image that most people have in their mind. It's the person who's psychotic and this and that and aggressive and all. That's the minority of people, okay? And so public education is going to be a big part of the campaign that we're going to launch officially on Friday. We're just starting now with, getting people aware about the changes in the Act and wanting people to log on to the ministry's website and read the Act and give us feedback.
Okay. And we'll come to that in a minute.
Yes.
Global standards, because I know now the use of certain terms or the disuse of certain terms, and so the basic measurement has changed globally.
Yes.
Is this new Act meeting those international global standards?
Absolutely. As part of the process, we started the process of rewriting the Act by looking at what was out there, both regionally, so we looked at other Caribbean territories who would have just completed that process, as well as internationally. And we looked at all that was available, and we wrote what we thought was relevant for Barbados. Because that's the other thing. We don't want to start talking about things that we know are not relevant for us here. And so we're very careful in the new, what we've written, to make sure that it conforms to international standards and relevant for us here locally.
All right. So what you need of us now, the public, John Q. public, to do is to go and read it.
Absolutely.
And in reading it, raise some flags. If you see some flags need to be raised, and so that it needs clarification. If it needs clarification, it gets clarification.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
so where can we go to get this information?
So we have uploaded those notes on the health.gov.bb. That's the ministry's website. It's on the front page. You just scroll down to just past half the page and you will see it there, draft mental health legislative notes. And there's an email there that you can email us any of your comments, as you said, what you like, what you don't like, what needs to be improved, what needs to be removed, any comment, suggestion, question you may have, you might put it there and we will collate all of that information and respond during our public engagement. So we have you have two opportunities. One would be at the Commonwealth School on the 16th of July. The other one would be on the 30th of July. We will confirm that location. Right. But we have two opportunities for the public in that forum to engage with us, and we will address all the questions and comments. Of course, we don't want your name or anything. We're not identifying people. We're taking all the information together and answering the questions. And at those two public engagements, we will go through the act, highlight the bits that are very important for the public, because obviously we can't go through 32 pages in one night, but we'll highlight the bits we think. And then people can come and ask questions. You can be present or be online.
All right, we'll break that down a little bit more after this break. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We're sitting with Dr. Maisha Emmanuel, who is chairing the National Mental Health Commission, who are tasked with looking at that old act, 40 years old now, and modernizing it to today's realities. Today's realities are real and they are a part of who we are, because each of us at some point in time, if not in the moment, are met with mental health challenges. And so we want to be able, as a society, to be able to respond when we see it happening indeed, and not to be punitive necessarily, but to find ways as a community to create a platform and a space where people can be treated. And that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. But remember, now you need to barely go to health.gov.bb. Just scroll down a little bit and you will see the draft notes on the new Mental Health Act, and we want you to read, and read. Look at it very, very carefully, because what is being created is for some time to come. Look at your screen right now. That's where you're going. You're going to health.gov.bb, and as you scroll down, as we're doing here, you will see what we're talking about, and we just want you to click on that. Let's see here. Do we find it?
It's right on it.
It's right there. Oh, there we clicked on it for you, and you're going to draft mental health legislative notes. You read that information for us. And then on the 16th of July, we're heading to the Combermere School that is a first big open public consultation where we are all invited to come and lend our voices, lend our views, lend our comments, because it will inform the final act that will be presented. And so it's critical that as a people, we head to health.gov.bb and become very familiar, because if it's not affecting you, it's probably affecting another. And so, Dr. Emmanuel, let's talk a little bit about that, because the law here now, in terms of what's into the legislation, into the act, one of the things we talked about was consent.
Yes.
How is that tackled within the notes that we will read and the act that is being drafted?
Right, so remember I said, consent is almost the bedrock of any type of treatment. So before you can do something to someone, you have to get their permission. Now, for somebody to make a decision about something, they need the information about it. Informed consent. You have to understand pros and cons and alternatives and so on. And so what the Act is saying, the onus now is on the team, the medical team, to give that information. You can't just say, well, I think you have some anxiety, take this tablet. No, don't get me wrong, we don't do that, but it spells it out in the Act so that well, this is my right. I have a right to have the information, and I have a right to be given time to make my decision, and I have a right to say, well, I want this but not that, and I can choose somebody with whom I would like to discuss these things with. One of the things that we have found is that there's this concept of next of kin, who is the person who can make a decision on your behalf if you do not have the ability to do so. And that often causes some conflict, because in the law right now it's your spouse or your mother, your father, and it goes down in hierarchy. But if for whatever reason you don't want that person involved, you have no leeway with that, because that's what the law says. So with the new Act, we are saying you can have a nominated representative, someone whom you choose upfront to say, in the event that I cannot make a decision for myself, I want this person. And you get to choose whomever it is. It doesn't have to be a family member. Your parents don't have, as an adult, your parents or your relatives or your partner, they do not have to agree with you. But you are an adult, you can make that decision. You can choose whom you would like to make decisions on your behalf. So that's a very significant thing, because it puts the power back into your hands as an individual as to who is going to be involved, okay? So it may seem like a simple thing, but it's a very important thing. So that's a nominated representative. That's a new thing we have introduced into this Act.
We're talking about adults here. So once we've agreed that my little auntie who I live with is the one who will sign the consent form and says, yes, I need assistance, I need this kind of attention. That's one area. But as an adult, I'm also conducting the affairs of my life, and part of which is my banking, my everything else, all of those things. And so oftentimes, if I'm challenged by some mental health condition, I may not have the capacity to be able to continue my regular activity. How does this new Act draft deal with that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have introduced what is called an enduring power of attorney. And so again, it allows you as an individual, when you have capacity, to say, in the event that I no longer can make decisions on my own behalf, I would like John to deal with my finances, Philip to do my medical decisions, and my mother to look after whatever contractual arrangements I may have. So you have, again, the ability to name separate people, or you may say, well, I trust one person and I would like one person to manage everything. Again, as long as you have the capacity to make that decision, you do so that if you do lose that capacity, those things are already in place and you have your wishes carried out as you would want. So that's an absolutely new term, because right now we do not have enduring power of attorney. We just have power of attorney, which then becomes null and void once you lose capacity.
That is a new one indeed. And so it just caused me to stop for just a moment and dwell on it for just a little bit. And that's important, I think, for anyone who is encountering a loved one who is fussing up, as we tend to say, And oftentimes the first reaction is to call the police, get this person out of here, because they're no longer comfortable in my creating comfort in my space. And you're saying you now put the onus back on the one who has a bit of a challenge to say, I don't want this level of treatment. or I've given the right to Maisha to make that decision for me.
So remember, the person can make that decision when they have the capacity, not when they are not.
When they're acting up,
yeah.
so to speak, as we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know that yet. I'm just making you uncomfortable in your own head and your own definitions. But in my own head, I think I'm quite capable to be able to say, that's the road, those are the doors I can go through or I can stay.
Yes.
And so who conducts that assessment?
In terms of
when you choose, I am competent enough to make my own decision.
Right. Yeah, so but we do that now all the time. We meaning psychiatrists. So we are often called to make that let me give you an example. I work at QEH. I'm in the mental health section there. But if somebody is going to surgery and they have agreed, and then suddenly the person says, I don't want this thing. I'm done. I'm going to wait and see. The doctors would then ask me and the members of my team to make that assessment as to whether or not this person has the capacity to decide that they don't want surgery. Okay, and sometimes we go and the person is saying something, and they will say things like, well, if I have this surgery, what is going to happen to me? And they're logical. And you may say, well, I don't agree with the fact that you're disagreeing, but that's irrelevant. As long as you have the capacity to decide, you can make a decision. Even if me as a clinician, I don't agree with it. So the point is, having the ability to make a decision is what we are assessing, not whether or not we agree with your decision or not. So that's something we do all the time as clinicians.
Okay. I don't have all the questions, folks. You may have questions that you need to ask yourself. So it's important that you go to health.gov.bb to read the draft legislative notes yourself. I can't ask for you. That information is right there on your screen. Look at it right there on your screen, and you will find those notes. Read the notes. Whether you are challenged by someone in your space who is challenged by mental health or not, it's important as a society that we understand, because we have to care for them as well. We interact with them, whether at work, at play, at school, wherever. So get to read those notes, then show up. Whether online or in person. On person is absolutely critical. Show up on the 16th of July at the Combermere School. What time does that begin?
That begins at 6 o'clock.
6 in the evening. It is important that you are there. It's important that you are there, folks. So we're working on updating the current Mental Health Act, and the Commission is hard at work. They now want to hear from you so that you inform what goes forward indeed. Thank you, Dr. Maisha. Thank you so much. I hope you've covered everything that you want to get out. Of course, keep listening, folks, because we'll tell you when the next session occurs at the end of July. But all right now, I hope that you really do visit the website and get to know intimately what's in there so that you can help to inform the next stage, the next 5 years, the next 10 years of this new Mental Health Act indeed. All right, we're taking a break here, folks. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, crop over is starting, ladies and gentlemen. It has started in our own spirit in the music and everything else that's been going on, but the official start is this coming weekend. It's one of those moments that everyone looks forward to because we know it's going to be spectacular. And you know what? It's going to be in town, as a matter of fact. With me is Simone Haynes, who is a festival and events planner with the National Cultural Foundation. And she's brought along the external coordinator for the gala and parade. You know her face well, Jennifer Seeley. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Listen, you hear my excitement in my voice about the opening parade? This is going to be fantastic, I believe. So tell me what I can expect.
Well, as you said, the new is that we're going back to Queen's Park, the home of the opening gala, ceremonial delivery of the last kings. We've been other places for the past years, but now we're going back to the home. What's also new for the parade is the route. We're going...
Don't talk Jennifer's stuff, but go ahead.
Yes, I'm just going to mention the route, but okay. Jennifer is going to mention all things parade.
Sure.
The route is also new this year. We're going to start from Golden Square. Excitingly, we're going to take the route from Program Street and come all the way around, and we're going to end all the way back up to Queen's Park.
Yes, yes.
Right? So we're going to have to come out on Saturday, July 5th to the opening gala, ceremony of the last kings, and see that route for the parade.
But there are lots of installations you have in the park itself happening all around us. Yes. Talk to us a little bit more about the different experiences.
So let's start with the Daphne Hackett Theatre. We're going to have community theatre in there from Pampalam. We're going to have Laugh It Off in there. We're going to show some short films. The use of the theatre is something new because it's been there, right? We're home now. So the use of the theatre for the community groups to showcase what they're going to be doing. To get into the theatre, we're going to have to use tickets.
Okay.
Adults only. Tickets, free of cost. You just go to the ticket booth, collect your ticket, and you go into the theater and you enjoy that community theater from Pampalam and Laugh It Off.
Right.
So we go into the Esplanade area. We have one stage over there that's going to demonstrate for us junior DJs. We're going to have Pinelands Creative Workshop over there. Over in the Marcus Garvey Amphitheater, which is always new, which is also new to the Queen's Park. We're going to have the community steel pan groups in there, the school steel pan groups in there. Then we're going to go over to the Esplanade again. We're going to have demonstrations. We're going to have workshops. We do all things local for basketry, sweet traditional sweets, tambourine making, nut cakes, that kind of thing. And then we're going to go into jewelry making from raw materials. We're going to end back up on the main stage. We're going to have the welcome, the remarks. We're going to have the awards. We're going to have the concert.
Yes.
On the main stage.
So all this starts at 2 o'clock in Queen's Park. So early o'clock, you're going to gather in numbers. But the parade, I think the spectacle of the parade, and it's been growing and growing every year. So Jennifer, this is where you come in. You are so creative. We know that it's going to be spectacular indeed.
Yes, and I must say a special thank you to Karen Pestina, as well as Simone, and for inviting me in again to work. What I like about the parade this year is how it's segmented. There are 4 basic segments. First being echoes in the field. And of course we would have our field workers.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you who they are, but I'm going to give you an understanding that once you hear echoes in the field, you are going to be looking for those plantation workers.
Yes.
And this segment will be led by the well-known Pompesetters Tuk Band.
Nice.
So we have musicians to start to lead off each. Our second segment March of Legacy. So you can understand we would have the Zoav Band as well as the Barbados Cadet Corps. Sons of God Apostolic Church. That's legacy.
Yes.
When you combine them. Then we go to segment 3, folklore and spirit. The cultural procession. You know, all of our
all
cultural
of
elements will be there. This is led by Dance National Afrique Tuk Band. Of course, you will have the fancy basket, the hawkers, decorated carts.
Which is good. Fantastic.
We have brought them back.
Yes.
The King and Queen national dress, traditional shaggy bear, the traditional shaggy bear in the dried breadfruit leaves. Breadfruit leaves. We've gone from banana shag to breadfruit, as well as regular shaggy bears.
Yes.
Green monkeys, donkey man, Mother Sally's traditional.
Yes.
Mother Sally's and modern.
The donkey man is so long.
We're bringing them out. Segment 4, the final segment, youth and legacy. The future walks forward. Of course. National dress. Our kids, our children in national dress. Haynesville Youth Club and Israel Lovell Junior drummers will be on parade, as well as the Barbados Landship Association, and these are, you know, this is being expanded, and there are lots of youth. Time was in my age, not that young anymore, but when I saw the Landship as a child, there were older people. It was about age, people with age. And now these are young people. So you understand our fourth segment.
I do.
Walking forward, or stilt walkers, and these are new stilt walkers. Strangely enough, we don't have the more mature stilt walkers. We are already pushing the younger ones. They're going to be in other elements on Saturday, but not on parade. And then we have the Frederick Smith School. It's a plus for them. They have a wonderful landship. And
Sweet.
band. And they will be joined by Princess Margaret, two very good teams, and Cheerleaders Association.
Beautiful.
Another growing
thing that's happening here, Barbados.
Yes, it's happening here.
And it starts where? At Freedom Square?
We start at Golden Square.
The echoes from the field. I just love that title to begin with.
The titles
it is beautiful, and then to
wonderful.
end with walking forward.
Walking the youth.
I could see the transition through the time and the telling of the story of sugar and the hard work of our people and the industry that grew therefrom and how it provided opportunity for our youth through all sorts of things that were given to them to be their best selves today and to see that expressed in the way it is. And so the parade starts at Golden Square and it winds its way through. From there it goes up Fairchild.
Chamberlain
You come
Bridge.
across the Chamberlain Bridge.
Very short parade
And,
this time.
yeah, because it's tiny.
Don't want to turn people out.
Yeah,
you know?
And this is on Saturday, by the way. Saturday, so traffic will stop because this parade coming through. And we're heading to Queen's Park and into Queen's Park.
And Queen's Park itself, Queen's Park itself is an excellent parade space because as you walk through that gate, Lower Crampton Street there,
that one,
as you walk right up there, you're still on parade. So those who are there will also get. So you have people on the road. I can imagine that all the workers, all those persons coming out to see St. Michael's Row. Everybody.
Beautiful indeed. 2 o'clock it starts. I wish I had more time. 2 o'clock it starts. The parade starts at 2 as well?
The parade starts at 3.
At 3?
Yes.
Yeah, we are
Everything in Queen's Park starts at 2 p.m.
Right. So a lot is happening before the parade kicks off at 3 in Queen's Park itself. So you need to get there very early. Entry is free into Queen's Park.
Entry is free admission. Just come on in.
Yes, come on in. Big stage will be there indeed. This is a true opportunity. I think the children need to be a part of this. Literally need to be a part of it. Not just the parade, but to see just what it means.
And Queen's Park.
Queen's Park. And in that particular location, the history of that location, Queen's Park, as Jennifer keeps saying, you're quite right. And so I think it's going to be spectacular. As you can see on your screen, folks, all of the workshops, all of the demonstrations that you can engage with are there time by time by time. So you make yourself available. And of course, you go into the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre to see those short films, Pam Palam and Laugh It Off. Those expressions there for adults only, but get your ticket early. And the Mobby Woman, maybe she'll be making her way through as one of those characters as well. But it's all happening this Saturday, the opening gala and ceremonial delivery of the last canes to kick off Crop Over. It's not just happening on stage, it's happening all around the city, ladies and gentlemen, starting with the parade at 3. And so we're looking forward to how we go from the echoes of the fields right down to walking forward of our young people, indeed all that's happening in there in the transition of time and in the transition of our history over time as well. What a story, Jennifer. What a story. Thank you for your great work. Thank you so much for coming by too as well. And to you, Simone, as well. Yes. I know we have some time to freight to
and
Saturday.
Karen. And Karen Pastena.
And Karen Pastena, who's always been the face of all of this.
That's a creative brain there.
Yes. Really?
Remember that.
Oh, congratulations. Well done. Well done, team from NCF as well. So, I thank you.
Thank you.
I am out of time. They've snatched the time away from me, but I want to thank all of you folks for waking up to keep us company. My little crew joins me in wishing all of you a great today. By the will of God, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.